Hi guys, it's Graham here. It's a bit windy, so I hope you can hear me, but I've been lucky enough to get myself out again. And the plan tonight is to investigate, have a look at Cateran Hole, and then go and camp on Ros Castle, the old hill fort. Been to Cateran Hole before, and it's a great place because it's quite a big cave on a flat moor side. So real mysterious, not where I expect the cave to be. It's not near crags or on a sea cliff or, you know, on a mountain, anything like that. It's on flat, featureless moorland. It does mean if you're not looking where you're going, you can fall into it, do yourself an injury. But as I said, I've been a few times before. There's all sorts of legends associated with it. As you'll see, it's got steps cut down into it. And it was thought to be, you know, little smugglers' hidey hole years ago. And legend has it that at the end it gets so narrow you've got to crawl to get through further, and it's blocked by tumbled rocks beyond that. But supposedly people say, well, you know, legends say it links up with Cheviot Castle, or it goes all the way to the Cheviot and stuff. And I can't really see it like, but fun to think about. It gets called Cateran Hole because Cateran is the old word for reiver. It comes from the Gaelic, it comes from Scottish Gaelic, and it originally just meant, you know, bands of marauding Scotsmen, but it came to mean, you know, any nationality of you know, border raiders. So Northumberland wasn't a nice place back in the day. A few hundred years ago, it was wild and lawless. Like Sunderland. I'm just kidding. I've got great memories of Sunderland. It was the first place I moved to when I moved away from home. I did my first degree there. It's a lovely, I was going to say town, because I was there so long ago. It changed to a city while I was living there. It's a cracking little place, and real friendly folk. So I was just kidding. The traditional way of finding Cateran Hole is to line up these two masts. I don't know if you can see the first one, but line them up till they're in line, and then walk towards them, looking carefully where you are in case you fall down the hill. But there's actually a different way, a better way to find Cateran Hole. I'll give you a big clue. So here we are, Cateran Hole. It's just a steep little descent under the moor, and it's completely flat. You'd never know there was a cave here. Well, unless you fell into it, because that's possible if you're a bit unaware. Very steep steps here. Better switch my light on. Oh, my heat. Aye. Just bumped it. So it's really narrow. You'd have to squeeze two abreast if you wanted past each other. And it goes back about 35 metres, about 100 foot. Just a narrow. It certainly goes down the middle side, you have to crawl down it. Yeah, so at the end of about 100 foot there's a block that comes down nearly to the floor. Yeah. And you could crawl under it if you want. You can, but I'm not gonna. Well, sometimes it's dry and you can crawl under. Well, like you say, it's done, but you could crawl under there. Sure, you can get under there. The floor's really sandy now, isn't it? Yeah. But the walls are wet. Right. So, squeeze past you, Andrew. Thanks. Sorry, thanks. Oh, would you keep hold of that?
Yeah.
So at this point you'd have to crawl on your hands and knees, and then just beyond you'd have to crawl on your belly to get through. And I'm not going to do that. Sorry. It's not the kind of cave you could camp in. It's very rocky, very narrow, very steep. Just the odd tea light hanging around. I love Bewick Moor because it's just so full of history. You've got Ros Castle, or Ros Hill, you've got the Cateran Hole, you've got Blair Weary, which is a fabulous old ruined farmhouse with the remains of, you know, the old crag garden and planted broadleaf trees by the family that used to live there. I've camped there a couple of times, but I've never videoed it. But I'll do a future camp there and do video it. It's tell you what, it's a spooky old place, mind. I wouldn't camp there by myself, but very atmospheric, great. And there's Neolithic burial cairns up in the moor as well, and an old church and stuff, and that's just a great place to explore here. It's just amazing. So guys, I hope you can hear me with the wind, but I'm out tonight with my good friend Silky Nick and another mysterious character who's not sure if he wants to be on film or not, so I might not film him, but we'll call him Little Silky. He's not little, like he's taller than me, but then everybody is. That's our destination tonight. Top of Ros Castle. It's quite a popular place. I've seen it on a few YouTube videos. I've never filmed up here. I've camped up here once before, and you know, the idea of camping up on Ros Castle, is that you get great views and you're meant to be able to see 7 castles from around. But when I camped up there, basically did it in a rainstorm and sat in a cloud all night. But you know, as I always say, it doesn't really matter. It's always good to be out. Hi guys, so this is the summit of Ros Hill, and it's got this little enclosed walled structure, and it's got steel plinths at every side showing you what you can see from the view. It's pretty neat actually. It gives a nice bit of shelter for a bit of cooking and that, but it looks like there's rain in the sky. It's forecast, so I'm just gonna crack on and get my tent up. Hi guys, so this is the culprit. Our rucksack is soaking, and I've had this soft flask in the mesh here, and it's just soaked everything. I'll have to hide away. I'll take it back, use the water to take it back and hide away. But if the dry bag hasn't done its job, I'm snookered. I'm hoping my sleeping bag's going to be dry. It's going to be a proper flappy one tonight, but hopefully it means no condensation. Might mean no sleep either. a drone pilot and I was getting strong wind warnings flying it here, and you could see it struggling, so I'm not risking it. I'm not going to get any more drone shots unless it's calm in the morning. And in other news, I've just spent 10 minutes looking for my glasses because the wind blew them off my head into my hood, and that's the kind of idiot I am. Nick, do you have any words of wisdom?
Oh, when it's windy like this, you need a pair of gloves on a day like this.
Have you got your gloves?
No. The other day I took the I remember the days when I could juke a hole.
Little silky nearly rusty salt there.
Jesus.
Well retrieved. This is the head end of my tent, so I've got my head, and the wind now and again, quite often, is just pushing this almost flat, so I'm going to get flapped in the face all night. I could sleep the other way, but then I'd be head down. I think that's even worse, and I'm certainly not about to re-out my tent. It was a pain enough to get up with the wind. It'll be fine. There's definitely no fancy cooking tonight because I've just come back from a lovely weekend with my beautiful wife at Robin Hood's Bay, and had like an hour's turnaround time, so I didn't have time to do, you know, shopping or anything for fancy cooking. So I've got some instant cheese, 2 steak slices, and a couple of packets of HB borrowed from a popular pub chain. Thank you, Tim Martin. I kind of wish I brought the sort of Windmaster because of the wind, but I've got the Primus Etta light stove. It's a canny little thing of the wind in itself though, and it's a good little stove. I got it free a few years ago with a 12-month subscription to Trail magazine, so that was a canny bargain. I know it's windy as out, but there's still something really cosy about being in the tent. I still love it. If I had time, I would have bought some butter, salt, pepper for the mash, but honestly it was like, got back from Robin Hood's Bay and out the door an hour later. I had to pack my rucksack on Wednesday because I knew there'd be no time, and one of the things I forgot on my earbuds, so it's going to be a right noisy night. I can't even listen to a podcast. There we go folks, we've got instant cheesy mash with a cold steak bake and brown sauce. Proper camping food. Actually, I think I'm going to enjoy this. Do you know what? This is good. And the other good news is that I've got to say, the dry bag, which is my schnozzle, has saved my sleeping bag. My bag's not wet at all, so going to be dry, going to be warm, going to be a good night. Morning guys, we're all packed up now, leave no trace as usual, and make my way back down Ros Hill. Pretty good night's sleep last night. Woke up a few times. I was up at 5 in the morning taking the Instagram pictures and that, but I got a Facebook message last night off Tommy, the culinary genius behind Pitman Pizzas at the Boxwood Tap in Bedlington. He said, I've inspired hired him to do his first wild camp on Monday, and he hopes I didn't have any nightmares. Tommy, I didn't have any nightmares. Have a good night out on Monday, mate. Thanks for coming along last night. I really appreciate it. If you want to like and subscribe, appreciate that as well.